The most dangerous thing a man can do to a woman is not to hit her, not to betray her, not even to abandon her. Those are obvious wounds. They are visible. They scream for justice. The real danger lies in something far more subtle, something far more insidious, something that leaves no bruises but scars the soul. The most dangerous thing a man can do to a woman is to make her doubt herself, to strip away her confidence piece by piece, to make her question her worth, her beauty, her intelligence, her very existence. Do you know why that is dangerous? Because once a man succeeds in killing a woman's self belief, he no longer needs to control her. She begins to control herself, limit herself, doubt herself, punish herself. He becomes her God, and she becomes a prisoner in a jail she builds with her own hands. Every woman enters this world with an instinct for love, for nurturing, for connection. It is her greatest strength, but it is also the weakness men exploit. When a man plants the seed of doubt, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not capable, you're too much, you're not enough, those words turn into chains. And the cruel part? She doesn't see the chains. She thinks those thoughts are her own. She thinks she is the problem. That is the most dangerous form of control because it is invisible. And once she loses that inner fire, once she stops believing in her own power, she can be manipulated, abused, discarded, and she will still come back asking for love. She will still beg for validation. She will still wait for the same man who poisoned her to be the one to heal her. That is the silent tragedy happening in relationships every single day. The dangerous man isn't the one who shouts at her, but the one who whispers in her ear, "No one else will love you like I do." The dangerous man isn't the one who leaves her, but the one who makes her afraid of being left. The dangerous man isn't the one who cheats once, but the one who convinces her that she wasn't good enough to keep him. That is emotional homicide. That is psychological murder. And here's the twisted truth. Society has trained women to tolerate this. From childhood, she is told, be nice, don't argue, compromise, sacrifice, adjust. She is conditioned to believe that her value lies in keeping the peace, even when the peace is killing her inside. So when a man chips away at her identity, she stays silent. She calls it patience. She calls it loyalty. She calls it love. But in reality, it is self-destruction disguised as virtue. The most dangerous thing a man can do to a woman is to make her believe she is powerless, because once that belief is planted, she will not even try to break free. She will lower her standards, she will shrink her dreams, she will silence her voice, she will betray herself before he ever needs to betray her. And let me tell you something, this is not about weakness. Women are not weak. A woman can carry life in her body. She can survive pain men can't even imagine. She can rebuild after being broken 1,000 times. But when a man convinces her that she is not enough, when he rewires her mind to believe that she is undeserving, even her strength becomes her prison. She will use her strength to endure pain instead of escaping it. The most dangerous thing a man can do is not to destroy her body, it is to destroy her spirit. Because a woman with no spirit is not alive, she is only existing. And a man who understands that power and abuses it is the most dangerous man of all. Do you want to know why women stay in toxic relationships for years? It's not because they love the man, it's because the man has successfully convinced them that no one else will. He has weaponized their fear of being alone. He has taken her natural capacity for loyalty and twisted it into a leash. And she, blinded by the illusion of love, wears it proudly, even when it's choking her. The most dangerous thing a man can do is take a woman's trust and turn it into her weakness. Because when she finally wakes up, when she finally realizes she was deceived, the damage is permanent. She will never trust in the same way again. She will love, but with caution. She will give, but with calculation. And in that moment, the world loses a piece of her innocence. That is a crime no one can punish but her own heart. Men like to boast about dominance, about power, about conquest, but the real power isn't in controlling her body, it's in controlling her mind. And the tragedy is, most women don't even see it until it's too late. That is why the most dangerous thing a man can do to a woman is to poison her perception of herself, because that poison spreads, it kills her joy, her confidence, her laughter, her ambition. When a man tells a woman, "You're nothing without me," he is not just insulting her, he is planting a lie that will echo in her head for years. And if she believes it, she will clip her own wings, she will shrink her own world, she will silence her own voice. That is the real prison. The most dangerous man is not the abuser, but the manipulator. Not the one who slaps, but the one who smiles while planting insecurity in her soul. Not the one who leaves bruises on her skin, but the one who leaves wounds on her spirit that never heal. That is the man every woman should fear, because he looks like love, but he is death in disguise. And the irony is, women don't even realize when it's happening, because manipulation doesn't come with warning signs. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't break doors, it builds comfort. A man will first shower her with attention, gifts, promises, and love. He will make her feel like the center of his universe. She will believe she has finally found safety, that she has finally found someone who sees her, understands her, values her. But slowly, so slowly she won't even notice, he will begin to replace her inner voice with his. What she wears, how she laughs, who she talks to, what she dreams about, it all becomes his decision, and she thinks this is love. She thinks this is care. She thinks this is protection. But in reality, it's control wrapped in the packaging of romance. The most dangerous thing a man can do is to make a woman dependent on his approval. Because once that happens, she stops asking herself, "What do I want?" and starts asking, "What will make him happy?" And when a woman stops listening to herself, she loses her compass. She starts to believe that her worth exists only when he validates it. She can be the most brilliant, talented, ambitious woman in the world, but the moment she believes she needs his permission to shine, her light begins to dim. Do you know how many women walk through life like shadows of who they once were? They used to laugh freely, they used to dream boldly, they used to walk with confidence. But then came a man who told them, "You're too loud, you're too ambitious, you're too independent, you're too much." And instead of realizing that those words came from his insecurity, they internalized them, they believed them, they shrank themselves. That is the real theft, the theft of identity. And when that identity is stolen, it doesn't just affect her, it affects every relationship around her. She becomes a mother who teaches her daughter to stay quiet instead of speaking truth. She becomes a sister who advises compromise instead of courage. She becomes a friend who says, "Just adjust, don't make it a big deal." The poison spreads across generations because one man knew how to make her doubt herself. The most dangerous thing a man can do is not break her heart, it's to break her spirit. Because a broken heart can heal, but a broken spirit changes the way she sees the world forever. And that is why women who have been manipulated carry silent scars. They smile, but it doesn't reach their eyes. They love, but with hesitation. They live, but never fully. And let me tell you something even darker. Some men know exactly what they're doing. They understand that if they keep her insecure, they keep her loyal. If they keep her doubting, they keep her dependent. If they keep her afraid, they keep her silent. It's a strategy. a toxic game of control. And the woman doesn't realize she's a player in it until years have passed and she no longer recognizes herself in the mirror. The most dangerous thing a man can do is to teach a woman to mistrust her own intuition. Every woman is born with a sixth sense, that gut feeling that tells her when something is wrong. But if he mocks it, dismisses it, calls her crazy, dramatic, insecure, eventually she stops listening to it. She doubts her instincts, and once that instinct is silenced, she is blind. She won't even run when the fire is burning around her because he has convinced her that the smoke is her imagination. That is why the psychological damage is far more dangerous than any physical harm. Physical wounds heal. But when a man has made a woman believe she is unworthy, unlovable, undeserving, she carries that belief for a lifetime unless she consciously breaks free. And most don't, because breaking free requires first believing you are worthy of freedom. And when you look at the patterns of society, you realize that this isn't just personal, it's cultural. Entire systems are built on women doubting themselves. Fashion tells her she's not beautiful enough. Social media tells her she's not desirable enough. Family tells her she's not obedient enough. Religion misinterpreted tells her she's not pure enough. And when a man echoes those same lies into her heart, it reinforces everything she has been told since childhood. That's why she believes him. That's why she obeys him. That's why she surrenders. The most dangerous thing a man can do is take advantage of her conditioning, because when he convinces her that her silence is dignity, her endurance is virtue, her sacrifice is love, then he never has to fear losing her. He doesn't need chains. He doesn't need locks. She locks herself. She polishes the cage he built for her. She calls it a home when in reality it's a prison. And when you listen closely, you'll notice how every dangerous man uses the same language. He will say, I only want what's best for you. He will say, no one else understands you like I do. He will say, if you loved me, you wouldn't do that. These sentences sound harmless, they sound like care, but hidden beneath them is a knife that cuts her freedom, her choices, her individuality. Slowly, she begins to measure her worth based on how happy he is, how calm he is, how present he is. She forgets to ask, am I happy? The most dangerous thing a man can do is convince a woman that love is supposed to hurt, that if she's crying every night, it means she's loyal. That if she's constantly apologizing, it means she's humble. That if she's exhausted, it means she's strong. No, that's not love. That's conditioning. That's manipulation. That's slavery with a romantic name. And women fall for it because they are dreamers. A woman in love will always see potential where there is only poison. She will wait for the man he could become while destroying herself with the man he is. And the dangerous man knows this. He knows her loyalty is his weapon. He knows her patience is his shield. He knows her forgiveness is his permission. And then there is the silence he creates by punishing her when she speaks up. He may not yell, but he withdraws. He may not fight, but he goes cold. He may not hit, but he disappears emotionally. And she learns very quickly that keeping quiet is safer than speaking truth. That is how women lose their voices, not because they don't have one, but because every time they use it, they are punished. Because once she stops trusting herself, she has nowhere to run. The world outside won't believe her. The man beside her denies it. And the voice inside her has been silenced. That is when the dangerous man has won. Not because he destroyed her, but because he made her destroy herself. And the saddest part, many women don't even realize how deep this damage runs until years later. They wake up one day, look at themselves in the mirror, and see a stranger staring back. A stranger who once had dreams, once had confidence, once had a sparkle in her eyes, but lost it all piece by piece. And she doesn't even know when it happened because it wasn't sudden. It was slow. It was subtle. It was dangerous. So understand this: bruises fade, heartbreak heals, But the damage of making a woman doubt herself can last a lifetime. The most dangerous thing a man can ever do is not to leave her, not to betray her, not even to hurt her body, but to destroy her belief in her own worth. Because when a woman loses her self-worth, she loses everything. But when she reclaims it, when she finally wakes up and says, I am enough, I am worthy, I am powerful without you, no man, no manipulation, no system can ever break her again. The message is simple. A man who truly loves a woman builds her, not breaks her. He protects her confidence, he fuels her spirit, he sharpens her wings instead of clipping them. And any man who dares to strip a woman of her self-belief should know she may bend, she may break, but when she rises, she will rise stronger, fiercer, and unstoppable. Because the most dangerous thing a man can do to a woman is underestimate her power to heal, to fight back, and to rise again.